Hello and welcome to Gaia GPS. This is where we come and pull cards for the Astro week ahead. I'm Mimi and I'm here with Nicole Oman.
Hi.
And we are pulling cards building into this really interesting eclipse week. I did something on my computer right before we started and now it's driving me crazy, of course. I wish I could. Oh well. So we're building into eclipse week. We've got some intense shifts happening as we do build into this eclipse week. So we're going to get started with the moon shifting into Cancer tonight, later this evening, February 6th. And I think this is a moon to be pretty vigilant on. Moon in Cancer definitely heightens emotions. And so we have emotions to process. But the thing that's coming up, as the cycles all make sense with how the universe works, how the astro works. Moon in Cancer, building to this eclipse in Leo, the eclipse in the sign of the inner child. The moon in Cancer is like, you have got to nurture yourself. Nobody else is responsible for your inner child except yourself. And so, as we build this into this eclipse, you may feel that inner child ready to throw temper tantrums, being like, I have this hole and I have this wound and you did this to me. And this moon in Cancer is like, and here I am, and I'm going to hold myself, and I'm going to love myself in and through this energy. And so the Osho cards I have the traveling card in reverse, I've got the ripeness card in reverse, and then I have breakthrough. And this to me is like, okay, this isn't necessarily about expanding your comfort zones. Moon in Cancer can sometimes be like, I need to expand my comfort zones. And we have other transits that may make you feel like you should, the shoulds coming up, that you should be expanding your comfort zones, including this cardinal cross energy. This moon in Cancer is activating cardinal cross energies, which means all of the cardinal signs are going to be activated. It's not going to be exact. But Capricorn, Cancer, they're going to be playing tug of war with Pluto hanging out up in Capricorn, and then Jupiter, now retrograde in Libra, and then Uranus in Aries are gonna, they're tugging on this side, as well as Mars and Venus hanging out in Aries as well. So it's like this cross energy, and so it's like tug of wars pulling you this way and that way. And sometimes that can be this energy where it's time to expand. But I feel like this is a time to come in, hold yourself, come into the center. Eclipse in Leo. Leo is the heart. Look at that energy. Where is that energy bursting forth? That is like, to me, it's like solar plexus heart energy. This light coming out to the world. You're not going to get it by necessarily expanding your comfort zones, but rather coming in, being close to yourself, nurturing yourself, loving yourself. What do you need to do for yourself to fill these holes, to fill this place where you feel these tantrums, these volcanoes within you rising? I keep talking about tending to your volcanoes. From the Keepers of the Light, I have the Bridget card. And here again, here's the sacred heart energy that she's holding. Inner strength, move back to wholeness, recognize that you have the power. Here's Divine Goddess Mother energy coming in and being like, you have the power. You can love yourself. You can nurture yourself for it. Come back into the wholeness. Recognize that you don't need somebody else to do this. This breakthrough, this energy is in through you. You are the ripening for yourself. Feeling a lot of goddess energy, so I pulled the goddess cards as well. I pulled Lakshmi, bright future. There are good things ahead for you if you can nurture yourself through it. So when you feel yourself looking outside to be mothered, to be nurtured, for your inner child to have this outlet, or if you're looking for distractions, this is a time, this is a call to come back within and be like, okay, I have the light, I have the abundance, I have the ability to be tender with myself, to nurture myself. And then the other card, because we were talking, Nikki and I were talking Gaia before here. So Gaia Oracle, it's so perfect, so perfect. Beyond mothering yourself, we have a sacred divine mother present at our feet every day. I have the sacred Earth Mother card, and it is a message of love. And this, it talks about, tuning into your heart and the love, but I really feel like this is like, hey, you're being supported. Your needs are being met. Food, nourishment, shelter. Gaia has the ability to provide all of these things. It's time to connect, and this message has been coming through. I've been saying it in my horoscopes. I feel like Nikki's been saying it too. It's time to connect with the mother. Even if it's just, I have a million crystals in front of me. I had to go back here. Grabbing a crystal and holding a crystal, a piece of the earth in your hand, to nurture yourself, to show up for yourself in this energy. You are not alone. You don't need to act out at this time like a wounded child. You've got to tend to your volcanoes, tend to these hurt places within you, and then watch yourself. What's the word? I have the vision, but I don't know what the word is. Watch yourself bloom from that place. You're tending to yourself just the way you would tend to a garden. So that's, to me, the feeling of this Cancer moon building up into this eclipse. This is an opportunity to really set yourself up in a really beautiful way for this eclipse, because eclipse energies are intense, and especially bringing up the inner child, because everybody's got inner child stuff. Nobody's immune from inner child stuff, because we've all been here on the planet through our childhood. Nicole?
We all were children once, so we all have that inner child. You know, we might not all have the divine wisdom person, because we might not all get there, or we haven't been there in another lifetime, but we all have the child, that's for sure. And I totally agree with Mimi with the nurturing and the mother. It's so funny when she brought up the sacred mother, I was like, that's where I was going. Okay, so the first card that I have in the past position is the patience card. Look at that. Pregnant mama with the moon cycle. Here we go. We're coming up. So right now what it's saying is it's really hard to be patient with what's going on within you. Let me tell you something. I'm in your boat. I have been feeling this really wounding place in my heart for about 2 weeks. I don't know if it was connected to the collective. It's connected to myself. It's probably a little bit of all of that. And you might not be able to put your finger on the pulse of exactly what you're feeling right now. And that can frustrate you too. So but I do believe that it will come up to the surface around Friday when we do have that lunar eclipse. The lunar eclipse and this energy in Cancer, what it's saying is, what the opportunity is, it's pulling things out of the darkness and bringing things to the surface. It's pulling things even from our past lives, our souls, our soul contracts, our soul lessons, and all of these things are coming up. So you do need to be patient. This also is like this darkness, right? The womb. I keep going back to this energy of the womb. And, you know, a man with a hammer or a woman that's pregnant, right? So I'm pregnant right now. So everything to me is like a womb and pregnancy and all these different things, because that's what I'm embodying Gaia at the moment, because I am mother and I have lots of mother energy to me. And I studied with Amma, so it's very, very ripe within me right now. But what this is calling for, and I have 2 water cards too. I have the harmony and trust. What I'm getting is what you experienced in the womb is coming up. So whatever was happening to your mother, whatever she was feeling, whatever she was processing, whatever her home life was. If your mother was really distressed when she was pregnant, that might be coming up for you. Also, if, you know, but if she was like really peaceful, that also might be coming. You might have like waves of peace. But whatever the turmoil, and it's not necessarily your fault, because welcome to Earth. That's what happens here. You know, like moms don't need to go into complete fault on that, because they're doing the best they can, being able to navigate their life. And I can talk about that being a mother. I'm not perfect. And when you're pregnant, you have raging hormones as well. So usually when your tolerance level is this, when you're pregnant, your tolerance level is like this. And with your other children, your tolerance level is about like this, right? So we have to forgive our mothers for whatever they were going through in the womb. But it's also this energy is telling me, with this Cancer energy, it is time for you to do some sort of ceremony of the womb. So taking a bath with all the lights off and putting salt in there, making like you're in this kind of womb, if you have access anywhere in your hometown to a float pod, go float. Go in the water, go in the float pods or sensory deprivation tanks. Go in there, go meditate in the water in that womb energy, because we have to connect to this. It will, because we don't have logical memory of it, we need to embrace it in a different way in our bodies. So whatever, it's like, maybe we say like blossom, but really it's like this cultivation. And you put yourself in the womb, and what happens when you're in the womb? You're growing your vital organs, you're growing all those things that you can survive outside the womb. So if you go back into the womb, like a deprivation tank or bath in the dark, we start getting back into that growth again, so we can go back to that natural safety that you had in that womb, protection by the mother, and call upon the energy of Gaia. Imagine you in her womb, and that will be able to heal, that sacred mother will be able to heal those original womb woundings. Okay, so the card that I get for return of spirit is the come to the edge. So these lunar eclipses bring us to the edge. And as we get to the edge, we might not be able to feel like we can do this on our own. That's the tantrum. Get back in that water. Get back in that womb. Make that womb for yourself so you can be able to take the edge off. Seriously. So you could take the edge off, because you might be feeling really stressed. So there's a couple of things also that will be able to help you. A couple of things that are birthing for you as we go through this is your own talents and your gifts and your confidence in them. And also sacred relationships, unions. So that might be with friendships, but that also might be with lovers. Also maybe with the gifted card, maybe even sacred union partnerships around business. If that is going to birth, all this stuff, these woundings are what's keeping us from those. So we have to tend to ourselves, nurture ourselves, womb. Also music. Music is very, very, very important. Surround yourself with maybe healing mantras. My Spotify has been on Deva Premal station, and because I needed those mantras, I needed the mantras, even though they kind of make me feel worse because everything's coming up. But I need those to kind of put those divine mantras in my cells. But whatever music feels very nurturing to you will help. Look at the heart, right? Like it's a heart figure 8. It will help the flow of the heart, because we are going through, we're going to go into a lunar eclipse in Leo, which will awaken the heart. So that is that. We have to get back to the womb.
Absolutely. Agreed. You know, it's really interesting with that too. That really ties in well with our next transit. We have Mercury shifting into Aquarius tomorrow. But, you know, with what Nikki was saying about the mantras and the music has those vibrations. It's vibrational. And the vibrations in the music and in the tones, especially in mantras, like Sanskrit mantras, which is used in the Deva Premal songs. She's mostly Sanskrit mantra, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Each of those sounds are, the word just left. All of the words are leaving because Mercury is going to shift signs. They are chosen. The words have all just gone away. All of the words have fallen out. Words all over the floor. Scoop them back in, put them back in the head. They're intentional. There we go. Each of the mantras are intentional in their sounds with the vibrations they put through your body. Like there's like science behind this. So I think that's actually really great as we have Mercury shifting into Aquarius. So this is happening Tuesday, super early in the morning on Tuesday. So tomorrow, 1:35 a.m. Tuesday morning Pacific time. I've got interesting cards for this. I'm going to start with these two.
Of course you do. It's Aquarius.
Yeah. I've got. I don't want to lose my page. I've got from the Gaia cards, the Temptress, which is about deceit. I've got this politics card, and then I have
deceit.
I know, deceit, yeah, it's there. And then this Butterfly Maiden transformation card. I'm actually going to read part of this transformation card because I think this is feeding into the energy. As you go through this period of change, it's natural for you to wonder if your future is safe. And I'm here to assure you, you're part of nature's cycle of birth, death, rebirth. To bring in desired newness, you must first allow old parts of your life to fall away. And these changes are to be celebrated, not feared. Give thanks for the shedding of the old. So this is appropriate. As we're in eclipse season, that's one of the things of eclipses. You know, stuff comes up to be released in this energy. And it can feel like, are we going to survive the eclipses? And, you know, a lot of this can be tuned even to that politics thing. But you know, the focus can always be out there. Aquarius especially is like humanity, all those things. But with these, you know, this moon in Cancer, with this eclipse, to me, this energy is saying, come back in. Where is this true for you? Where are you still wearing these masks? Where are you not being true, authentic to your soul vibration? Aquarius is this vibrational energy. It is up to you to bring in that authenticity. Uranus is about that liberation. Uranus is about being authentic to your personal evolution in this energy. So you're going to have to be clear with yourself and get really conscious in this energy so that you can come and be this authentic vibration as we go through these changes. Butterfly Maiden says it's fine. So it's all good because Butterfly Maiden says so. But you've got to check with yourself in this energy. And the Temptress, such an interesting card. I'm actually going to read it. You are being seduced by dazzling promises that will mostly not eventuate. In effect, you are being deceived, enticed into accepting something that will cause much difficulty and lead to disappointment. Don't be seduced by the glitz and the glamour or by what's holy and benevolent facade. There's that mask. Things are not what they seem. Incredible promises are simply that, incredible. Observe the image on this card. The Temptress entices you with her sensuous beauty and exotic surroundings. Yet behind her is the all-seeing eye of truth. It is staring you in the space all along. Take a few steps back. Look at things from an objective and balanced perspective. Balance. And the real picture and hidden agenda will emerge. And where I think this is, you know, telling us is like, you got to be real with where you may be lying to yourself, where you may be wearing the mask with others, where you may not fully be integrating yourself. Even if it's the shadow, I don't want to show them my shadow sides. That's still an energy of this, you know, and I'm not saying you have to go out there and, you know, show your shadow side necessarily, but at least be honest with yourself. This to me is going to be like, I'm going to be clear about what my vibration is. I'm going to be clear in my consciousness because, again, the words have just splatted out. Gather them back in, put them in the head, put the lid on. Can we stay here now? Mercury is planning to shift, and I'm definitely feeling it right now. But in this energy, that's the thing, this vibration. Our vibrations, like attracts like. And so we've got to be, as, you know, I think, you know, the government stuff, the politics card, you know, it brings up the government stuff. We want truth to be spoken, but we have to be truth. We have to recognize with Mercury in Aquarius that we need to be the vibration that we wish to receive. So if you are not being truth, if you are not in your integrity, if you are not in your integration, if you still are in this place of masks, that's the same thing. It's the same thing. It may be on different levels, but it's the same thing. So this is a call to your personal consciousness in this energy. And, you know, I love this card with this too. I have Hilarion, Divine Healing. Honor your sensitivity. Retreat to recharge and heal. Your light can support others. Your vibration can support others. Your being true to your vibration can support others. But first, you've got to recognize what it is. And this, to me, echoes that, you know, call of the Cancer energy to come back in, nurture, come into the womb, like Nikki said, and nurture where you're at so that you can get clear. And so you recognize where you're coming from, because we can't ask for transparency and truth from everyone else if we're not bringing it ourselves. You know, as above, so below. That it goes on all the levels. So this is a call back to yourself and your the words, your your integration, your integrity in this moment with your vibration, with your consciousness, and how you're thinking and seeing and using the world that we live in. Nicole?
Awesome. So, yeah, okay, so I'm getting a person and a story that's coming to me with this energy. And so it is being a true, there's some interesting energy about being honest with yourself, what Mimi brought up. And then there's also what I'm getting, there's a really big theme in mine is a change in the wind in reverse, and the change card in reverse. And what I'm getting from this is us. It's our own selves blocking our own change. Now, we don't mean to do that. We're like craving change, but because we don't want to make other choices or get out of our comfort zones, or we're so stuck in the pattern, maybe we don't even see it, that we are blocking our own change. And so I want to read what it says here in the change in the wind and the protection. There are conditions brewing in your life that you have no control over. Don't fight them. Change is inevitable and is for the best and for the highest good. Even if the storm blows away all the structures you think you built your dreams on, all will turn out as it should. You will have renewed clarity and strength to do something even better. Spirit is your ally. So whatever that is for you, whatever you're blocking, whatever, if it's like my mom is doing this thing where she doesn't want to leave, but her whole body's falling apart. And I'm like, okay, Mom, I can't do it for you, but you're holding on to something that really is hurting you or killing you. And I see that also not just with my mom, I see that with some of my friends and colleagues and things like that. It's like, okay, what are you holding on to that needs to be unraveled? And within myself, like, what am I holding on to? What are these things? I mean, I have this thing in my heart that won't release, right? And I'm like, give me the clarity for it. I don't know what this thing is, but I'm willing to release what doesn't serve me. But that's us kind of sitting in our comfort zone. Hey, the sun's out. Let's put our sunglasses on and go sip on a drink as everything is like shattering around us. So I'm not sure that you really have to do much, because I think it's going to happen in its own due time. But I think the only thing that you could do is be willing to look at it. So the story that I had in the beginning that was coming up for me was a girlfriend of mine asked me to dinner, and she was going through this thing where she really liked this guy, and everybody was telling her that that this guy was like her guy and all these different things, except for three of us. There was me. I was guiding her, but I didn't want to tell her yes or no, and a couple others. And she pushed us all out, and she came to me and said, I'm starting to realize this is not my guy. Why did everybody tell me that it was? Why couldn't I see, like, why did everybody tell me it was? And I was like, well, there was three of us who didn't, and you pushed us away. And then, so that Temptress card with that eye in the back, there's certain things, like there's certain illusions that we like to hold on to because that's what we feel like. We're like, oh yeah, that's the right person, or that's the right job, or that's the right opportunity for me. But there's all these red flags waving in the background, that eye of truth going, it's not, but what do we want to do? Do we want to hear it, or do we want to go la 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 la? And I can't hear anything right now doing this, so what good am I? I literally couldn't. And so if we can't hear it and we can't see it, then we have to forgive ourselves. And that's the big thing. It's like, as soon as like the pieces fall, the breakthrough card happens and the pieces fall where they may, don't get mad at others that they didn't tell you or warn you. What were you not able to hear? What were the signs that were waving in your face the entire time where you weren't able to believe them because you wanted to think that that was going to turn out the way you wanted to? And I know that grieving my own expectations that didn't come to manifest are sometimes harder than anything else, than actually going through a breakthrough. I'm like, oh my God, I deceived myself. Ah! And that's okay. And that's okay. But once it breaks through, there will be, like, you get to dance in the rain with this. You get to dance in your emotion. It is a playful nature. And I also want you to just have faith through this process. And then I have the innocence card. The innocence card is, don't get mad at yourself for your naiveties. Naiveties kind of make us sweet and innocent. But when they do fall apart, that's just your chance to mature through them. The innocence is a good thing to have, but within that innocence, have compassion for yourself, because you just wanted to, like, it's like when you're a kid and you're like, everything is like, the world is just so great, and then all of a sudden you start living it and you're like, oh my God, what is going on in this planet? That's okay. As soon as we take that reality, it's okay. And I know, I mean, this is like a Mercury and Aquarius, but that's being honest with yourself of like what you don't want to look at and what you don't want to change. And that's okay. Just be compassionate to yourself.
That's so perfect leading into this. The child, because that's the energy that I'm getting. And obviously, I mean, it's kind of the theme, but like, and that innocence, looking at the world in that way. So the moon is shifting into Leo on Thursday early morning. So this is the moon in Leo building up to the eclipse. This isn't quite the eclipse part of the reading yet, but I've got an interesting set of cards again, and there is a very clear theme. So here we have the child. Here we have the rebirth of the child coming forth from the lion. Here is the innocence, that light, that child going on an adventure. Well, what kind of adventure is this? I got Mother Mary, expect a miracle. I've got the enchanted forest, mystery, magic, excitement. And I've got Odin, psychic insight, which is asking us to look beyond what the physical eye is showing us and getting into the magic that's available to you in this energy. And so I feel like this is part of this energy, which is interesting. Building into the eclipse, there is going to be intensity. However, this actually reminds me of a different card that I pulled the other week. I wish that I pulled it for a client, but it's so perfect because the card was saying, you know, magic is. But we have been trained away from seeing the magic in any given thing. And so the card was stating, like, you have to make this intention to look for magic. And so I believe that that's what these cards are saying in building into this eclipse, in through all of this intensity that we're going through. Make this intention to take an adventure of magic, to rebirth yourself into the Fool, into the magical child, into the somewhat naive energy that's like, okay, I don't want to say it's naive. I don't like the word naive. And I may have negative energies around it that I need to clear, but like I don't want to say, you know, the jolly idiot. So that's what naive kind of sounds like to me. It's the jolly idiot. And it's not necessarily like that, but like into the eyes wide open, like, yes, I see magic in this moment. It's maybe the Sagittarius view of things. Like, even if there's shit, I know I can alchemize this into gold kind of energy. That's what the child is. The child sees the potential. And so that's what I'm getting. Expect a miracle. Have faith your prayers have been heard and are being answered. Bringing in the enchantment that is present on this earth. We get really, you and I were talking about this before, like, Earth is an intense experience. You can feel bogged down by this energy. But if you can get back into the mystery, the magic, the excitement, that is available to us. It is at all times available to us, even in this heaviness of this planet, even in the intensity of this eclipse. You will shift. You will come into that rebirth energy, into that rebirth moment. To me, the Odin card is like, make this your intention to follow your intuition and to honor the psychic visions. And maybe it's time to call in the fairies, call in the unicorns, call in the dragons. I like dragons. I do not think that they are bad. So call in the dragons. Call in these energies to help bring yourself back into your inner child, into that childlike innocence. You know, here's a big thing that's also been coming through in this energies. These eclipses, both of them together to me, and even especially this one because Pisces is interacting in this eclipse, there's a strong energy of Jesus. And like, it reminds me of different Bible verses, like Jesus saying, let the little children come to me. And, you know, a child can pass through a needle when you can't throw a camel through a needle. I'm now paraphrasing Mimi style, but here's this camel. It's like, nope, the camel's not getting through the needle. The camel's not going through the rebirth. This lion, he can't really make it through either. But this divine soul that is inherent, that is the light within all of us, that can make it. Oh, it's the rich man who can't get through the needle. That's who can make it through the needle. I'm 5 with my paraphrasing and lack of vocabulary apparently today. But this is the energy. Reclaim your innocence. Make commitment to the magic. Choose magic. Choose to see the mystery. Choose in any given situation. I know it's tough with what's going on, but choose to find the magic. Okay, where's the magic? How can I shapeshift this? How can I alchemize this? How can I bring my magic forward in this moment? How can I be a miracle to this moment? How does my innocence impact this moment? And just see what you can do for yourself in this situation, because, you know, the eclipses are very personal energies, but how that also shifts the world around you, because we are vibrational beings. We take each other's vibrations. Always. We're always shape-shifting based on others' vibrations around us. So you never know what kind of influence, by you claiming your joy, you can be to those around you. And that is a whirlpool effect that can change the world. That reminds me of my card that I pulled in tomorrow's horoscope, in Tuesday's horoscope. I pulled the Heart Taurus card, the Ka card. And it was just saying, you know, this energy, it goes out and it changes things. And that's what I'm getting in this moon. It's not about, we've already talked about the intensity building up. This is about claim this magic now. Nicole?
Yeah. So with this Leo energy, so the Leo is going to be like bringing us forward into the full moon lunar eclipse. So what they want me to tell you, and it's not necessarily a warning, it is be aware of this, because when we all get into the Leo energy, we can get into the inner child, but we can also get into a sense of false arrogance or false belief in ourselves, or like we overcompensate for ourselves. And there's a lot of overcompensation energy going on in the cards that I have. So I have this card in the past of like not healing. So it's like we have that blocked healing energy. And like I said, I'm kind of going through that. And instead of like trusting the process and being in that Cancer, moving out of the Cancer energy and like trusting it, we might have a tendency to want to force it to happen instead of just allowing it to happen. And this is the Yang card in reverse is telling me, like, don't try to force it. Don't try to get arrogant, because what you're going to do is you're going to push people away, or you might get in a tendency of being a little too aggressive with your approach, or you might rub somebody the wrong way, or you might just come off angry, or you actually might have a rage moment. And so if you have that, what will happen is I have the Creator card in reverse and I have the Source card in reverse. This is giving me the essence of the other side of the coin of the self-love or the self-confidence and the willpower. It's the over-aggressive willpower. It's the over-aggressive, overconfident, kind of egoic type of feel, that prideful lion that can't really see. He thinks he's the best and he can't really see his ass from his elbow. So you might Mimi has the Source in reverse too. And so that might be you. You might get into it with somebody like that. But remember, and what I'm getting is, if you do run across somebody on Thursday that has this energy, remember, and it's not to hurt you, remember that they are mirroring something for you. So they might be mirroring somewhere where you get bullied and you don't stand up for yourself, or it might mirror your buck upness and where you don't listen either, and where you are staying strong in your opinion and they're staying strong in their opinion, and it's just clashing. And because of this, what could happen is a break of some sort of relationship. And it could be lovers, but it doesn't have to be lovers. It could also be friends or families or any type of peer partnership. is what I'm getting. So what I want you to just be aware of that, are you coming, are you communicating from a place of the heart? Are you coming from a place of the heart? You might think you are, but you have to go a little deeper and see where the connection can be. Because the other cards that I'm having are the co-create card and the higher power card. You do need these, whoever you're wanting to clash with, you might need them. It's a co-creation. Whatever idea that you think maybe you need to fight, you might need to create with it instead of against it. And so what they are telling me with both of these cards is we have to co-create with spirit, not our ego. We have to trust what our spirit's giving us. And it's a little tricky when the ego or the overconfidence is activated, because we're like, yeah, we're going to go forth. Woo. And then it's like, wham. Then the universe kind of smacks us with a 4x4 and was like, no, you need a little bit of humble pie. So you need to listen a little bit. And I've gotten hit by that 4x4 of humble. I've eaten crow and it doesn't taste very good. It kind of tastes so, you know, like if you do tend to get a little over arrogant, you're going to eat a little crow. And that's okay too, because that is a lesson. When God needs you on your knees, God will make you bow. And oh God, it's not fun. And going up to the lunar eclipse, maybe get on your knees by yourself so God doesn't force you on your knees. My friend Katie was telling me, she's like, yeah, I was like so confident one day and I'm running down the street and I'm feeling good, and I hit this tiny crack like this big, and right in the middle of Boulder, boom, like right on her knees, on her face, on her hands. And she's like, wah! So it's like, you know, it's like, yeah, I'm feeling good. And it's not the universe trying to bring you down like that, but it's like, where were you over arrogant? I asked her, I was like, where were you over arrogant? And she's like, yeah, I was getting a little cocky. You know, so when we get a little cocky, with a little cock on our heads, when I get a little cocky, you know, we have to tone it down, and it will happen. But it's okay. It's for our greater healing. Just be aware of it. Oh, God.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's get on your knees. Yeah, I think that's great. And it's so funny because I was like, I have the book here for the Sabian symbols for this eclipse. And I was like, oh, I haven't looked at what where the sun is going to be in Aquarius, what it is. And this is so great. It's so great. For Aquarius, 22 degrees, master level degree, evolution, revolution degree. A rug is placed on the floor of a nursery to allow children to play in comfort and warmth. Get on your knees on the rug so you are not on your hands and knees and face planted on the concrete. The universe is like, we can make this soft on you.
Don't get on it. Don't go wham on the concrete. I love that. Crawl on the floor. Be the innocence. I got that again. Be the innocence. So you could do that crawling and crawl instead of being being forced on it. Crawl. Come into this lunar eclipse with humility. Like if you want to do the child's pose. Child's pose is the actual prayer of humility. They tell you to go into it in yoga when you can't do it, when you can't handle the practice anymore. Some days, there was one day I was having a shoulder issue. The entire class I was in child's pose. And that's what just needed to be. It's like, if you get yourself in child's pose with your head right on that forehead, with your knees on the ground, it's going, I don't know better. And I'm willing to go into this lunar eclipse with spirit as my guide, not my own ego, not what I think I know.
Yeah, I know. I 100% agree. I think that's divine advice.
I think I'm going to do that. Like every night I'm going to sit by my altar and just be like, I don't know what this is, and I'm not going to force it. So you guys can bring it up.
No, absolutely. I'm like, can this be over? Can we go kneel down like right now? I'll be over here in child's pose.
I'll see you later. I'm in child's pose.
Bye, I'm done. I just got to be over here kneeling because I don't want to eat crow. I don't want to hit the pavement. Like I want to come into myself, and I want to be one with the universe. I want to come into that integration. And I think eclipses are a beautiful appointment for that. And then the saving symbol on top of that. The rug's on the floor. It doesn't have to be hard, and it doesn't have to be cold. And the universe is like saying, how stubborn you want to be in this. You know, we don't have to play, what is that, with the arms, where arm wrestling. We don't have to arm wrestle you there. Just be with us. So the eclipse, let's just talk about the logistics of the eclipse really quickly. It's on Friday, 4:33 p.m. Pacific time, so 7:33 East Coast, and then, you know, Europe and other places, it's actually early in the morning on Saturday, the 11th. The eclipse is at 22 degrees. That's a master level degree. That is also Uranus degree, evolution, revolution. This eclipse is part of a yod. So a yod is the finger of God. There's the finger of God. It's going to be like, you're going to kneel. But that's not like that. It's not really like that. But the yod's like, hey, this is important. Where the yod is pointing at is Chiron, 22 degrees in Pisces, master level healing, healing really deep, old, potentially karmic, past life, ancestral wounding. It is being pointed at the yod in part by the moon, bringing in that inner child energy, that Leo, the heart, the love. And then Jupiter, retrograde in Libra, is part of this yod, calling you within, calling for that self-love within this energy. We also have a grand trine in fire in this energy. So we have the grand trine of Uranus at 21 degrees. We have the moon at 22 degrees. And then we have Saturn and Lilith hanging in Sagittarius. Saturn is 25 degrees, Lilith is 19 degrees. So they're like kind of rounding out this grand trine fire. Grand trine and fire is active energy. It's inspiration. It's creativity. So we've got a lot of energy that's feeding into this eclipse. I think one of the biggest things besides like the actual eclipse part is that yod. And the fact that it has this Leo energy of the heart and then the Pisces energy, to me, it's very Jesus. And, okay, Sabian symbol, because I think Jesus, when I hear the Sabian symbol, the Sabian symbol for Leo 22 degrees is a carrier pigeon fulfilling its mission. Carrier pigeons are like doves with not as cute of an outfit. I think somebody said that once. The dove, the symbol of Christ, the symbol of Christ consciousness, fulfilling its mission. And this is something that has been coming up practitioner to practitioner to practitioner. I have talked to so many people over the last 2 weeks who have been, and me included, and Nikki and I talked about this last week, we're like, dude, Jesus is like all over me right now. That sounds funny, but like Jesus, Christ consciousness, Jesus has been like pushing me to like speak his messages. This to me, this energy of the Sacred Heart with this eclipse in Leo, with the level of forgiveness and compassion coming in with that yod, with Chiron, this is Jesus energy that's wanting to come through. So we've got the carrier pigeon thing. And then,
what's so funny with that, you know who's coming in for me?
Who?
You guys are like holding the divine masculine, and Gaia keeps coming to me.
Oh yeah. She's important. Yeah.
Well, I'm the pregnant woman. It's like Jesus already did his work on me, and he's like, she understands now. Like, of course, the Virgo's got to hold the like earth. It's like, you guys bring it, I'll hold the ground. Oh my God, it's really heavy. Guys, hurry up.
No, it's a balance. You know, it is all divine father, divine mother. It is divine masculine, divine feminine. It is, I don't know what the other thing, as above, so below. You know, it's all of those things. But Jesus is definitely coming through in this reading, because here's this dove in this card, rising above, clarity, freedom, solution. And I really do feel like this is this is the energy that's wanting to come in this energy, is Christ consciousness. Now, from my Keepers of the Light card, I don't have Jesus, but I do have, you know, different divine masculine, Master Buddha, the increased awareness, to represent the feminine Sacred Heart. Again, I have Bridget, different deck, but Bridget again, calling in that heart fire energy as we move through this. And so Interestingly enough, I also have the Creator card in reverse, just like Nikki had. Do you have it again for this, the eclipse too?
I do. At this time, it's upright.
Oh, that's funny. I have it in reverse for this. And the feeling that I'm getting it from reverse is I have the Magician card or the Existence card direct, but this in reverse. And this to me is like, you know, I see one of these, this thing happening all over, and I see it through all these other cards. This to me feels like that control, but it's not self-control that's going on. This would be self-control, working with yourself. This to me, this card in reverse is like trying to create everybody else's life, trying to create everybody else's situation, trying to impact everything else instead of coming in and being vigilant of your center. This isn't about everybody else. This is about coming into and from your heart space, calling in the Christ consciousness within yourself. This Master Buddha card, which is so funny. Let's talk about themes in card. The Master Buddha card, increased awareness. Here I have this awareness card. This is breakthrough, but it's for yourself. And when it comes to matters of the heart, so often we do look outside of ourselves. And again, with matters of the heart, a lot of times we're looking for others to fulfill us, that child that wants that fulfillment, that child that wants the love, that child that wants the nurturing. To me, all of these cards together are saying, hey, this isn't about anybody else. This is about yourself. This is about your process. This is about how you rise above. This is about how you can love yourself. This master level energy, revolution, evolution. What you do for yourself will impact everybody else. 22, that Uranus degree, it connects to all humanity. But first, the mastery, the Master Buddha, starts within you. And so this is going to be of the utmost importance in this eclipse. A carrier pigeon fulfilling its spiritual mission. What is your spiritual mission? What did you come for? How did you come to show up, to do on this planet? Don't back down. Get in your heart space. Get into the fire of your heart. Get into the fire of your soul. Be ignited. But don't try to control others by your purpose, by igniting yourself, by rising above. Do it because it's true to you, not out of like, oh, I'm going to do this and it's going to manipulate this thing. This energy isn't about manipulation. It's about your personal expression. It's about you being the creator of your life. That's what I got from the upside down creator in this thing. Not creating everything else. The creation is not outside yourself. There's Nikki. The creation is not outside yourself. It's deeply planted within. Thank you for being a visual aid. I love it. Yeah, it's not outside of yourself. So this is a call to come in. And it's, don't back down. I've got the Miser card. This to me, like, these are these jewels that you've got within that you need to share, that you're called to share. But again, we get so busy like nitpicking, focusing on all the other things, that we don't necessarily go there. This eclipse is an opportunity for you. Now, I do want to mention a few things. You had the Lover's card. I don't know what you have for this next set, but that was in Leo. Leo does have the energy of love and romance. It is connected to the heart. And so you may find yourself really feeling through this eclipse discontent in your relationship, or you may feel like, oh yes, this is fulfilling my holes. On either side, it's a key to come back in like, okay, well, the discontent, where am I not showing up for myself? Where am I not showing up for this inner child? Where do I need to revolution my approach to this energy? On the other side of things, everything is so beautiful. Okay, don't mess it up. It's all beautiful. But I've been talking to a few people lately who are like, it's so beautiful. This person does this and this and this and this and this to me. And meanwhile, it's this feeling of desperation that's connected to this. Like, but I need them to do these things for me to be okay. So just check in with yourself. Are you filling your holes, or are you asking other people to fill your holes in this energy? I feel like that's part of this, all the cards that I have, part of the awareness energy that's going on in this, so that you're taking care of yourself. You're taking care of your inner child. I think that's a really big part of the evolution revolution. I think that's a big part of allowing the Christ consciousness energy to come in, because we're rising above in and of ourselves. Just like this card, the clarity, the freedom to be yourself. When you're being filled by these other people, by these other things, or not being filled, you're giving away your power. You're not in the freedom. And so this is that call. What is your spiritual mission? Can you rise above into this energy and work with it? And I want to read the affirmation with this card. I surrender this situation to the universal power of love. I trust that all is well in my life. I look at life from a higher perspective. I am divinely guided. All is clear in my life, and I am safe. So, if you are struggling with some of the inner child stuff through this, which may very well come up, I mean, there's a lot of energies in here, that Chiron thing, bringing in that past energy, bringing in that healing, you may really be feeling that at this time. But all is well, all is safe. And if you're tending to your child, your inner child, you're going to be okay, no matter what the case is, because you'll be taken care of. All right, I think I'm done.
It is what it is. Sometimes the message goes because there's something there. And as you were speaking, I started seeing something, and I think I'm getting a hint that I'm going to be talking a lot about this all week. So there's a couple things that are coming up. One of the big things about the wounded child or the inner child is, so here's the adventure card that I have. As a child, and I'm going through this with my own daughter, I noticed that as I've been pregnant with my second child, a lot of transitioning has been happening. And I see her doing this thing like, hey, mom, hey, mom, hey, mom, and like asking me for more things than she would usually. And it's because she's starting to feel the transition of her being the only child to going into sharing that recognition. And where is it, where in our own inner child, in our own life, did we have to either share recognition, or we had to fight for attention, or we had to fight for validation? A lot of energy that's coming on with this Leo lunar eclipse is, where are we sacrificing ourselves for attention, for validation, and for recognition? Where do we not feel recognized in our life? Where do we not feel recognized? And this is stemming all the way back to that childhood issue. Where did we not feel seen? Where did we not feel heard? Where did we feel like we wanted to put on the show and our parents were looking past us to the TV, and that was more important? And I know those are little things, but those things are important, because for some reason we wanted all of it. And of course we did, right? And we also had to learn that the other aspect of it, that it wasn't all about us, that sometimes we had to take a step back and self-soothe, or take a step back and self-entertain ourselves instead of getting that validation all the time. So if we don't have that self-worth, and I'm going to what Mimi said, if we don't feel like we're being recognized by others, that's giving our power away to others. But also then we're looking to other people to fill those holes. Fill the holes where we feel like we want that attention, that validation, that recognition. And when you fill that hole with someone else, what happens is that it's not actually full, because they can pull that attention, and then you're back to feeling depleted, or feeling unworthy, or just feeling not good about yourself, not that non-worthiness thing. So I'm going to talk about something very interesting. This is going to be, it might be a very interesting pill to swallow, because a lot of our self-worth is low. And so we don't want to take ownership. And I have the Creator card. Take ownership of our light. So what we do is we overcompensate, and we pretend we're better than we are, but really what we need to do is sink in and just own the light that we actually are, not compare ourselves to other people's light. It's like, oh, they're really talented at that, and they're really talented at singing, so I'm going to work really hard and be a better singer than them. But you don't really love it, and you're only doing it for one singular thing, a validation or somebody saying that you're good at it. If you don't tap into your own natural gifts and you're trying to steal the light from somebody else, that is always going to work out poorly for you. This is what you have to own. Who are you? Who are you really? And let's look and see who you really are. These are going to be, this is going to be an interesting thing. So I've done enlightenment experiences, enlightenment intensives, and people have enlightenment experiences where they have a oneness or knowingness, that Buddha nature or the Christ nature. You are divinity. You are a star seed. You are a celestial being. And if you're watching this, you have Christ's violet flame already within you. I've had so many people have an enlightenment experience and go, oh my, I'm Jesus. I'm Jesus. Okay. So you're Jesus. So you're having an enlightenment experience as a oneness with Christ. Come on. It's okay. Be seen. Say it. Because what you're actually looking for is the ownership. That's why we do these funny song and dances to get recognition. But they'll always be pale in comparison to who you don't have to pretend to be. But that's what we're scared of, because religion, because of society. You're not God. That's blasphemy. But some people I've seen, I am God. Bullshit. You're not God. You're not. If you're not connected, if you're not in the oneness, then you're not. But when you can sink into it, it's not a trying hard, it's a coming in. And the sun doesn't try to be the sun. The sun just emanates light because that's what the sun does. It doesn't pretend to be anybody else than it is. And this is the Leo energy. It's asking you to be the light of your own frequency, of your own nature. What is your divinity? What celestial being are you embodying in this physical lifetime? By the way, you're a star seed. I'm going to tell you what you are. You're an angel. You're an angel. And if you can't take ownership of your angelic nature, then you're never going to connect to your own divine light. You're an angel. If you're watching this, it is what it is. My enlightenment experience that I had in 2006, I was looking around at everybody and I saw the divine spark. I saw that every single human being, and it didn't matter who they were. It didn't matter who they were. They all had the light, the spark of an angelic inside of them. What was clouding them, everybody looked like Pigpen from Charlie Brown. Everybody was covered in this muck, in the illusion, in the Maya, says the Buddha. They couldn't see because we have shame and guilt that surrounds us. But if we can get out of the identity of the muck and come back to that spark and take ownership, that spark, that light will be able to burn through the muck. And so it's no longer there. And you can be that recognized. You can have the recognition. But the funny thing is, when you take ownership of who you are, you won't need it. But you will still be recognized. That's the conundrum of it all. When you don't want it anymore because you don't need it is when you get it.
Perfect. Perfection. And it's so perfect with my next little message. With our last transit of the week, the moon shifting into Virgo, I feel like this is so perfect. It's so funny. With this transformation that you will have undergone through this eclipse this week, through the intensity of these energies, that's what I'm feeling. That's what these cards say. Mary Magdalene, the teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anybody stop you. You are the divine spark. I pulled this card last week, and I said that same thing last week that I'm going to say. Nematona, the sacred space. You are the altar. You are this divine energy. And going with Jesus again, here we have this dove energy, but this card is the message. And what I feel between you being this altar, the teacher awakening, the understanding card. So you have a message to share. You have.
Oh my God, all those doves.
I know, I've got all the birds over here. I swear, like every card with the doves on it, I think I pulled with this reading, you know, and it's also the sign of the promise after Noah's Ark, you know, like the dove had the olive leaf, and then there was the rainbow and all those things, but like you have a message to share. We are all teachers. We are all this divine spark. We are all this divine being. So all of this energy, and again, especially if you're, you know, watching this, if you're in alignment with us, there's consciousness that you're bringing forward that you can share with others. You have a message. The message is positive news, positive outcome. But what is your news? What is your understanding? What are you here to teach? Now, really funny.
What is messenger? What's the word for messenger?
Mercury? I don't know. What?
Angel.
Angel! Oh my gosh.
Angel
wow.
is messenger. That's what angel means. It means you're the messenger.
How awesome is that? See, all this just connects.
What is your personal divine message? You're the messenger. You're an angel. So what? We have to take it back, the power of the word angel. You're the messenger.
Yes, no, that's so perfect. I love that so much. And you know, it's funny, speaking of the messenger, Mercury rules Virgo. And it also connects to that, the carrier pigeon fulfilling its service. You're not a carrier pigeon. You're an angel. You're a dove, you know?
You're an angel.
You're the messenger.
Welcome, hi.
Or you're a turtle.
I had that too. How do you have two?
I have two in this deck.
Weird.
The universe was like, you're all this fire. We're giving you 2 slow downs. And so this is the energy. Slow down. It doesn't mean you have to get your message out today, but be aware of this teacher, of this consciousness awakening within you, that you do have this message, this piece of understanding the universe. I feel like we all have a piece of understanding the universe. And when you bring it all together, then we can understand the universe. But well, I'm over here yelling, this is what the universe is. And Nikki's over here yelling, this is what the universe is. You know, we're not working together. We all have a piece of this message. And so slow down. Be vigilant about your message. Ground in. Virgo is grounding energy. And listen, because my feeling is Spirit's going to have messages for you as this sacred energy to help propel you into your angelic self, into the messenger that you are. And this is going to be a big part of this eclipse. And then, you know, once this eclipse is over, we still have another eclipse coming later in the month.
Solar, yep.
So it's not over. It's not just like it's over. And the eclipse corridor, let's be fair, the eclipse corridor could sometimes be even more intense than the eclipse events actually are. But this to me is like light at the end of the tunnel, even though it's the light in the middle of the tunnel.
Totally.
There's a message. Slow down, pay attention, get grounded. The turtle wears the shell, you know, it's always home, no matter where it is. Home is where it's at. But like, that also reminds me, home is where the heart is. Get centered on your heart and then listen and see what happens as this teacher awakens within you. Nicole?
You know, it's interesting because those are kind of I was like, oh, okay, this is just the beginning. Like all the cards that I got for Virgo was like, okay, well, this isn't just like, oh, my little belly, sorry. I'm like, oh, it peaked. So just so you know, it's like you don't, just because you have the awakening, because you have the message, you don't have to go be the guru on the mountain and tell everybody it yet, because it hasn't it has to awaken within you, and then it changes you. And because when I got it, that was back in 2006. Then my whole life fell apart after I had my enlightenment experience for about 5 years, and then I became a mom, and then it fell apart again. So don't worry about you like having to get to a destination. You've only just begun to live. So you are on this journey, and this solar eclipse, or this lunar eclipse, excuse me, does not have to be the destination. There is no destination. It's just part of the journey. Because once you awaken the teacher within you, then you have a whole nother mountain to climb. Trust me. As awakened teacher, I know that you have a mountain to climb when you become the awakened teacher, because you are the one that has to walk the path with the machete in your hand and clear the pathway for other people. So when you become that teacher, your work isn't done. It's only just begun.
Only just begun.
When you become a messenger, then you will have experience in your life to talk about. I have a good friend of mine who's like, he's literally an adventurer. He goes down to Peru and goes down rivers, and like, he's nuts. And he says, you know, when you're having a good adventure, when you wish you're at home telling the story. So that's the amazing part. And we don't have to go out into the wilderness and do all those crazy things. Life brings the messenger angels, these experiences, so we can, trust me, my heart gets broken so I can tell you how to heal it. And that's okay, and I'm okay with that, because I know it brings out a flavor in me, so you guys can also bring out that flavor within you in your own beautiful and unique way. So, but what I do feel what's going to be clearing, that birding card, yay. So that, like I said, that pig pen energy, some of that is going to go like that. Leo is going to come out and really start burning through some of that fear. So here's a lot of this self-doubt, these like negative voices, these tuning in. So I think, and because it's upside down, this is like somebody like tuning in. I actually think they're kind of being burned. I think a lot of gray energy is going to be burned, because the two cards that I have with it is the flowering card. This is you opening and awakening to your message. So guess what? That's the fun part. When the message awakens, that's when you get the journal out. That's when you dance. That's when you do those things. And I do think it is journaling, because I have the right order card. It's like getting your thoughts in order, getting what you know, like what you went across. So on Friday, I want you to just have that journal out, because you might be getting a lot of messages that do come through you, and you might have aha moments, and those aha moments need to be written down. As you write down your aha moments, you might be having a conversation with a girlfriend later and go, oh my God, wait a minute. Oh my God. And you pull out that journal and you talk and you say exactly what came through to you. And that was their message too. Congratulations. If you're just having a communion here and it's just a conversation with one with another person, that's still what is called church. So church is not something that you need to sit in a little thing with a cross on top of the building. Church is communing with the messages of spirit, with the messages of God. And if that feels good in a coffee shop or on a hike or in a church or wherever you need to be, those spirit messages are going to come through for you. And that's when we communicate them, that Mercury and Virgo energy. But also it's when we take energy and we get to play in them and realize and play in the messages we get to. So play with them. Once you get a message, let's see how this works. It's like somebody gave you clay. Okay, what can I make with this now? I got a message, but how does that actually integrate into my body and my cells? How do I live that message that I got? And so there's a couple of things, again, unfinished symphony. So you're only just begun to know this message and be flexible. Don't think you know it just because you got it and you feel like Mr. Profound or Mrs. Profound. be flexible in the message, because it's going to give you different layers of it. It's going to, as you start to embody it and work and live through it, you're going to see, if you're flexible, you're going to see all these different, it's giving me yoga. It's like, only if you've only did downward dog all the time, it's like, okay, great. But if there's so many different poses and meanings in each one of these in one of the poses. And so you downloaded yoga, now you got to learn the poses, is kind of what I'm getting. So be patient. But what it is going to do, what this lunar eclipse is going to do, is it's going to get you out of that lazy energy that I got before. Like, we're not going to just sit and like wait for it to happen. It's going to crack free. So you're going to get out of some stagnation. You're going to get out of some paralysis, and you're going to get out of some just feeling that you can't move, like lethargy and procrastination. You'll get out of that, and you'll really start wanting to play with it, because it's like Christmas time and you got a new gift, and now you're like, okay, what do I do with this? Well, hold on, because we're still in the lunar eclipse. The solar eclipse is when we really go out to action. So play with it you're going to play with it more than for 2 weeks. It's going to be a profound message for you. But within 2 weeks, you're going to really need to like just cultivate it. Cultivate.
I like it. So yeah, so this is a big week. Good stuff. I think this is one of my favorite GPSs ever. I want to mention, speaking of the eclipse, if you want to know where this is in your chart, which can be really helpful, where all these players are, I have my eclipse sale. It's 20 minutes, $30. You can book it at GaiaBlooming.com right now. If you're going to do that, I recommend you book it soon, because my schedule is really full. But, you know, I can squeeze 20 minutes in here and there. But this is why I do what I do, because it's so helpful. It's helpful to know what's going on. It's helpful to know where you're activated. And, you know, it's helpful to know if it's interacting with any of your personal planets in this energy. And there's healing for all of us available in this. So GaiaBlooming.com for that. I
want to interject real quick with Mimi, and I'm going to plug you a little bit, because I plugged you on my daily today. And I want to say this, as it is extremely important for us to know what's going on with the eclipse. So what Mimi can provide for you is where it is, what house is, where it is in your chart, what kind of what it's hitting for you. And to know this information will help you with your message. Not only that, I also got the message to know where Jupiter's going retrograde in your chart personally, because that is going to help with the self-worth thing that you're going to be going through. It's also going to help you in relationship. And I really feel like these two are really tied together for whatever reason, that this Jupiter retrograde until June, this is going to be an ongoing lesson for you. So for you to get this at this lunar eclipse time is extremely important. And to get a reading from Mimi, just to know those little things. Now, she's not going to give you all the answers. She's going to give you the kind of yachting. She's going to be like yachting you, like that is the focal point. That is the focal point. So if you know what your themes are, hallelujah, right? We're not guessing like, is my personal theme. My personal theme is actually kind of karmic and unknown. It is what it is. But, you know, then it has some certain things to it too, you know. So I know what to put my focus on. And once you have an anchor point, then it's like, oh God, yay. I know exactly, I at least know what to focus. I know what thing that it's working with, and it really gives you a place to lift off, a lift off point. And you can also know where your message is, and that's a good thing too. So I'm telling you, if you want one, book one. They're not expensive from Mimi, because you're going to want to know what this is working with. It's going to give you a tool of empowerment.
Absolutely. Thank you. And, you know, the interesting thing, speaking of the message too, Libra, which is where Jupiter is, Libra also represents our talents. And so, you know, our message, that's the talent. What are you bringing forth? So, like, it can really, like Nikki said, really help hone this focus in this yacht and in this healing and in your individual divine consciousness that's coming through. So, like I said, GaiaBlooming.com. Do you have anything else you want to add? Maybe not about me, but maybe about yourself.
No, you know what? I would plug myself, but right now, because I'm pregnant and because of the eclipses, I'm kind of tired, to be honest with you, and I'm not going to plug myself too much. If you do really need a reading, I'm at NicoleOman.com. But I am tired, and it's funny because I'm like, I don't want to say no to abundance, but I'm like, I'm tired. I'll be completely. I'm growing a human.
Saying yes to yourself is still saying yes to abundance, because abundance is the ability to have self-care. And so if you're tired and if your body's saying, I need rest, then I think it would be more like saying no to abundance if you're like, well, I have to do these things because money, instead you're saying, no, I have to take the space for me because I know that I'll thrive from this place and then be able to do that thing. So that's my personal view of abundance with that.
Well, yeah, and you could tell. Look at my eyes. I look exhausted. I'm tired. I have 2 readings I still have to do tonight, and then I have 2 tomorrow, and I have like 2 Wednesdays. So it's like, yeah, and I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but if you've ever had a reading with me, I give me, and I'm tired. I'm tired.
I mean, this is something you're going to be a messenger. You should know it's a lot. It's not necessarily just like sit there and talk out of your ass. Like it's a full body experience for me, and it's not just my ass talking.
No, it's not. When you channel, and it's a lot to take on because you feel. I'm an empath, and I feel everybody's pain. But also I'm growing a human. And so, like I said before, my tolerance level is like this, like my capacity of to hold. Now it's like this, and now it's like getting smaller. And it's like because this baby's like, but I'm taking most of your energy because I'm growing a human. I'm growing a human right now. So, yeah, and as I create this human, I have to take a step back a little bit too.
Beautiful. Well, we honor that, and we honor you, and we thank you for showing up today with me to do this and having this fun. So that's it. You can check us out. I'm going to be posting daily. You'll probably I don't see you not posting daily. You'll probably.
No, I'll be posting. I mean, I give a lot. But
it's a lot.
But yes, no, I'll be posting. I'll definitely be posting. You can have those little helpers.
So you can check that out at Gaia Blooming on Facebook, Nicole Oman on Facebook, and her stuff's on GaiaBlooming.com or Gaia Blooming as well. And check us out and stay good to yourself, nurture yourself, self-care, self-love as we move into this eclipse of love, a total eclipse of the heart. Oh my God.
Eclipse of the heart. Oh my God, no. We have to post that on Friday.
We weren't born in the 80s or anything, were we?
Oh my God. Oh, totally eclipse of the heart, of course.
Funny. All right. Well, we love you. Thank you. Namaste. And we'll see you next week.
Namaste. Total.